Okay, today we are diving into something that's on pretty much every creative's mind right now. How in the world do you stay original when AI can generate just about anything? We're going to break down 5 really practical strategies to help you do exactly that.
So, this is the big question, right? Isn't it? I mean, as these tools get more and more powerful, it's so easy to feel like our own unique creative spark is, well, maybe being threatened. So, is it?
The short answer is a pretty confident no. It's not a threat, but, and this is a big but, it has absolutely changed the rules of the game.
And this really gets to the heart of a fundamental shift. See, in the past, originality was often tied to technical skill, being a better painter, a faster coder, a more polished designer. But AI has kind of leveled that playing field. The new originality isn't so much about what you make, but how you make it. It comes from your process, from the specific places where you, the human, deliberately step in.
Okay, so if it's all about how we intervene, how do we actually do that? Well, our first strategy dives right into the physical world with something called the analog digital analog loop. And this is all about using the huge difference between how machines and humans experience the world. So here's the playbook. First, you don't start with a text prompt. You start with your hands. Make a sketch, create a physical collage, snap a photo. Second, you feed that physical thing, that artifact, into the AI as your reference material. And third, and this part is absolutely crucial, you take the AI's output and bring it back into the physical world. Print it out, paint on it, crumple it up, distort it. This loop introduces something AI just can't replicate on its own, that little trace of human imperfection. And that trace, that's your signature. So just like your physical touch adds originality, so does your personal history. If you want unique outputs, you really have to stop using generic inputs. And this brings us to our second strategy, building your very own personal data asset. Basically, training the AI to think a little more like you. So what do you collect? We're talking about a deep dive, an archive of your creative DNA. Your past projects, all the images that have inspired you over the years, even your own notes and writings. When you start using this data to fine-tune a model, its whole default behavior begins to shift. It starts to learn your tendencies with color, your compositional habits, your narrative rhythm, and at that point, AI stops being just a generic tool and it becomes a true extension of your own mind. Now, building that personal archive, that takes time, which actually leads perfectly into our next strategy. And this one might feel a little counterintuitive in a world that's obsessed with optimization. It's all about intentionally building inefficiency into your workflow. I mean, think about it for a second. AI is designed for maximum efficiency, right? So if you only follow the path of least resistance, where do you think you'll end up? Probably the same place as everyone else, right in the middle, the average. So, can slowing down actually be a competitive advantage? Oh, absolutely. Intentional inefficiency is like a safeguard for your originality. It's about carving out parts of your process that are deliberately manual, maybe offline, or even just a little uncomfortable. Maybe it's sketching without looking at references, or brainstorming away from a screen. The stuff you make might feel a bit awkward or incomplete, but it's inside that awkwardness that you find a thinking path that is uniquely 100% yours. And that unique thinking path leads us right into our fourth strategy, which is all about rebalancing where you spend your creative energy. Because AI is fantastic at visual polish, but it's absolutely terrible at answering one simple question: why? So check this out. This is a new split. Let the AI handle the heavy lifting on the visual refinement. That's just 20% of your energy now. The other 80%, that's for you. That's for building the context, the story, the philosophy behind the work. AI can't author a sentence like, "This curve references a specific childhood memory to reduce user anxiety." Only a human can do that. And that is where the real value is now. The language we use to spell out that why is actually the key to our final strategy. See, if you want to get novel outputs, you need to use novel inputs. This is called cross-domain prompting. So if you only speak to AI in design terms, it's only going to recombine existing design data. A prompt like this, we've all done it. It's basically a recipe for getting something incredibly generic, something you've seen 1,000 times before. But now, look at this. By borrowing language from biology and from art history, you force the AI to connect concepts at the very edges of its knowledge base. You're making it find these new, unfamiliar combinations. And this shows us something really important. Originality doesn't start with a new style, it starts with a new metaphor. So, as we start to wrap this up, the core message is really this. In the age of AI, originality isn't some mystical quality that you're just born with. It's a series of deliberate, repeatable choices that you make in your process.
Your originality is defined by these choices. Where you decide to bring in the messiness of the analog world, what you choose to collect as your personal data, where you have the discipline to be inefficient on purpose, which languages you borrow to see the world differently, and maybe most importantly, which meanings you are willing to stand behind. These choices, when you repeat them over and over, they form your unique creative identity.
I really want to leave you with this powerful summary. It's not about that one single brilliant piece you create. It's about building a process, a structure of choices that consistently leads you away from the average. Because ultimately, that's the new partnership. AI gives us incredible speed and incredible power, but we, the humans, we provide the intent, the story, and the direction. And in this new world, the person who designs the direction will always, always be irreplaceable.